Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel. And if you saw my latest video, you'll know that I've been trying to take a different approach to my writing routine, if I can even call it routine. Writing process, daily life, yes. And as I was taking time away from the computer, I'd started reading more, but I also started reading a particular book where I happened upon something. Sometimes stuff just comes at you at the right time. And for me, that was Lauren Graham's Talking as Fast as I Can. Now, this is like, just kind of a funny book about her life and like adventures in Hollywood, I guess, from Gilmore Girls to Gilmore Girls. So I wasn't really expecting anything out of it, other than just like something fun to listen to while I was on the road. And yet she talks about sitting down to write screenplays and how she was finding it really difficult, and I think a lot of the ways that all of us as writers experience at some point where we're just hyping something up in our head so much, and that just like when we sit down to do it, it's hard to get the words out. And through a series of connections, she had a screenwriter friend basically sit down and explain to her this thing that he called the kitchen timer method. And it turns out that I'd been trying to do something similar to the kitchen timer method, just of my own accord, with the migraine and eye trouble I was having, and taking kind of like purposeful breaks from the screen. So I explained this all to my patrons when I was putting up a poll to see what kind of experiment I should do for August and September, where I wanted to take creative writing advice from almost self-helpy books and use that for a bit. So the options had been the kitchen timer method, so this is probably biased because I hyped this up in the post. Or I tried using Big Magic. I stole like an artist, or I use the gift of imperfection. So just some common methods. Definitely hit myself in the face with the book there, fine. But my patrons very luckily chose the one that I had just stumbled upon. So before I tell you the sort of 10 rules that the kitchen timer method follows, rules, mindsets to have, I want to show you what I'd sort of stumbled upon myself as I was trying to find a way that I could do work. All right, coffee gone, 45 minutes are up, and I got 655 words done and a little bit of email. Something I've been needing to work on is not sitting at my computer and staring at the screen for such long stretches. And so what I'm gonna try and do today is alternate off like 45-ish minutes of screen time with 45-ish minutes of doing something else time. And that could include writing by hand, it could include reading, or just like doing housework, but we're gonna see how this goes for me. So 45 minutes on. Oh wow, perfect. And start. The worst part about this is that I'm in the zone right now, but this is also how I got myself into the problem. All right, I'm subjecting everyone else to what I'm doing. Hello. Since I already had to cancel yesterday's stream, so. Good job. That was so good. I enjoyed it, but once again, I'm like in the middle of something when the 45 minutes hits. But I feel like I'm at a place where I have to put those time limits on myself. Otherwise, I just get into the same problem where it's like, oh, it's been an hour. Like if I just let myself go until I finish a thing, I would say that it's probably like an hour and a half, maybe. Ugh. But we're gonna do some yoga and then finish. Aw, big yawn. Where Vin waits for us while we're outside. You ready to go inside, sausage? Yeah. I'm literally breaking my rule right now, but I just wanted to finish the chapter while I had it. Just rereading this section and just verifying that it's okay so you can kind of see I really don't have that much left. Okay, done. Like 10 minutes later. 45-minute thing, which really ended up being more like an hour since we had to chat before and then after, but.
Hi guys. I worked at a goddamn steakhouse in New York City for 2 years. I should have been all over it. Hot or not, hospital or not, no sleep or not.
All right, I am almost done editing this video. It is about 7. Taking a shower, put my hair in some braids, and I'm actually about to 1, go to my parents, 2, switch out our cars, 3, drive up to the Austin airport to take them, 4, drive them back, 5, drive home, 6, barely get any sleep, 7, drive my partner to the San Antonio airport tomorrow at like 4 a.m. So this will be fun. So I only filmed 1 day of my new attempt at this routine, this 45 on, 45 off kind of thing. But I probably did that for since about mid-August through almost the first week of September, mid-September-ish. And I bumped that up to the hour on, hour off, which was so similar to the kitchen timer method, only I don't think I had the right mindset around it. As with any time when you're changing up your routine or what you know, I think expectations can be really difficult to adjust. And so that was the biggest, that was the part that I was struggling with the most. And as y'all saw, I was really having a hard time with keeping to that 45-minute on, 45 off, and like, no, nothing outside that. But I was trying to fit the same amount of work I'd been doing into those 45-minute on or hour on chunks, and that just wasn't working. So rather than celebrating however many hours on I was able to do that day, I was upset that I didn't get everything I'd wanted done in those. Yes, I was not doing this in the like most healthy, you know, fulfilling way that I could, or the most sustainable way. And that is all what I'm trying to go toward. So let me tell you now, in full, the 10 rules or guidelines of the kitchen timer method. The principle of kitchen timer is that every writer deserves a definite and doable way of being and feeling successful every day. So step 1, have a kitchen timer, have a timer of some sort. And the book recommends setting it for 60 minutes. So it's kind of funny to me that I was eventually trying to work my way up naturally to about an hour. And you need to decide on the day before you start writing how many hours you're going to do, how many chunks of those 60 minutes. So on Monday, you write down what your goal is for Tuesday. And it's important to note that the book says a good strong beginning is 1 hour a day, but a half hour is also good, or 20 minutes. And later in the book, she says that you really shouldn't exceed more than 4 hours. Like, this is supposed to be sustainable, doable, you feel successful. It's not about trying to like. And while on the kitchen timer hour, there are no phones, no internet, turn it all off, no distractions. So much so that they even say no music with words unless it's a language we don't understand. Headphones with a white noise app can be helpful. No reading, no pencil sharpening, desk tidying, or organizing. So literally no distractions, but you are allowed your journal and the project you're currently working on. So you're gonna have those two up, and you're allowed to work in your journal the entire hour. The point is keeping that appointment that you set with yourself from the day before. If you say that it's 2 hours, well, you're gonna sit there for 2 1-hour chunks, and if all you do is write in your journal that day, that is fine. You have made the appointment, you have fulfilled it. The point is, when disgust or fatigue with the current project arises, we don't take a break by getting up from our desk. We take a break by returning to the comforting arms of our journal until that in turn bores us. We use our boredom in this way. Rule or guideline 6 says it's infinitely better to write fewer hours every day than many hours one day and none the next. If we have a crowded weekend, we choose a half or quarter hour as our time, put in that time and go on with our day. We always try to minimize our resistance, and beginning an hour on Monday after 2 days off is a challenge. So this is like exactly what I needed, and being just kinder to yourself and recognizing like just the kind of artist's rhythm, I guess, that it is hard to start again. That's a problem that I've seen a lot of people talk about, is just getting started is the difficult part. So why not make it easier? Guideline 7. When the hour is up, we stop even if we're in the middle of a sentence. And if there's another hour scheduled for that day, you have to give yourself a break. Eat, move around, exercise, read a book. There must be a break in between the hours. We are not trying to create a cocoon we must stay in between hours, rather inside the hour. And in the vein of being kinder to yourself, it's all about learning and growing from yesterday. If on Wednesday we planned to write 2 hours and didn't make it, we schedule a shorter appointment for the next day. We don't add an hour to make up or catch up. We let the past go and move on. And this is where they say 4 hours a day is an enormous amount of time spent in this manner. Yes. Step 9 is congratulating yourself on fulfilling your commitment. Give yourself credit and feel good about the rest of your day. And to finish with guideline 10, I'm going to quote it in full. A word about content. This may seem to be all about form, but the knowledge that we have satisfied our commitment to ourselves, the freedom from anxiety and resistance, the stilling of that hectoring voice inside us that used to yell at us that we weren't writing enough, all this opens us up creatively. Good luck, Dominus. And now it is time to start my experiment in full. Okay, it is day 1. And I'm gonna do real quick before I start my hour is I'm going to go ahead and write down my intentions. As I've been doing this a couple days, the hours, it's not as hard as it once was. We're gonna discuss this. But I'm gonna go ahead and set the intention for today to be 3 hours, because I'm using this not just for writing creativity, but also to get my other stuff done. So I'm really merging these ideas with how much computer time and sitting time. And I'm gonna set this over here. The journal I have up is actually my headache and migraine tracker. So just, you know, I haven't filled out the start of today's, and I didn't complete yesterday's fully. So that's what I can do in the meantime. I am going to start with writing, however, today though, so. And I'm going to say 1 hour of straight admin work, like doing some things with Amazon and Patreon and stuff like that. So 3 hours accounted for, and let's go ahead and start the first hour. There is no time to waste. And then as needed, I will go ahead and write on here whatever I'm feeling. This is wrong. This is not the right date. It's fine. Okay, problem solved. Let's back you up. Start. Okay, I've had a little bit of trouble with the timer. The sliding's a little wonky, but thankfully my mom's about to stop by and her arrival is perfectly with when the original timer was supposed to be. So, hour complete. The fun part, or not fun part, however you want to decide, about line editing is that it's like the most minute changes. and that's what I'm doing right now. I've technically added 51 words. Earlier I deleted 55, but right now I have 29 words of notes. So we're really getting to the point that we're dealing with like sub 100 words difference for an entire 6,000 plus piece. So at some point I'm gonna have to call it, but I don't know if it's going to be this round or next round. But yeah, I'm gonna have to call it soon. Oh, someone is this front door. Okay. I'm almost done with the video, but not done quite yet. This is always the problem I want to get into, where I just want to finish the thing. This was very true of line editing too, because by the time that hour was up on the line editing, I only had another 851 words left to go, which, let's see, that's maybe 15% of that story, 13.7% of that story. And it's so frustrating to not get it done all in one go, but I can't. So I'm starting to accept this. The plus side of once I get the line edit done, like the closest I can possibly get to done, it'll actually be really fast. I'll basically just be reading it at that point. I want to get to a place where I'm really just subbing out words, and that's when I'm like, oh, okay, I need to just stop tinkering. And I'm not quite there yet, but hopefully in the next 1 hour thing, I'll finish that and read through it again. I have 11 minutes left to edit on this video. This is the second round of edits, which means that I'm actually putting a lot of the on-screen elements. This is an on-screen heavy one, so it's fine. Why do I do this to myself? I'm the one who decides what the videos are. But it is time to get up and move around and not be staring at a screen anymore, which actually in some ways the camera sometimes feels like, but if I actually move the viewfinder, problem solved. Now I have to look directly into the camera the whole time and just hope I am still not fuzzy. Let us set a full hour this time, since I don't have any interruptions from my lovely mother. 59 minutes, okay. Okay, so this has been the one downside that I found with doing this on-off, is that I did not plan appropriately today with when I started the on-off. So I'm trying to get back fully into my routine of things while still limiting the screen time, and that means I can actually, like, there's some work I can do if I do some more stuff by hand. I would love to get into doing stuff voice to text and things like that. For now, until I can get in to see the doctor, anyways. The problem is that today's stream is supposed to happen here, but I now have an hour of work I'm able to do here. And so anyways, I've just been struggling with trying to figure out, like, do I take another hour sans screen time and try to find some work to do today that's that? But unfortunately, all my work that I really do need to get done today is screen related. So if I wait until the stream, basically that's just pushing back the extra hour chunks I have. Anyways, it feels like I'm having to do a little bit more math to figure stuff out, which probably means I might hop on and stream at like 4 instead, but we're really just gonna play it by ear, and I'm gonna try and get this line edit done and get the video done, and that's gonna be this next hour chunk, which is still not actually the initial hour I planned of straight admin work. So is it fine? It's fine. I do tend to start writing in the notebook at like the 50-minute mark pretty regularly, or anywhere from like the 45 to 50 is when my brain's like, I still have more of this to do. If I'm actually stuck in the thing, then it could be anytime maybe around the 22-minute mark through the hour. But yeah, with some regularity, it's been this 45 to 50 mark. Let's finish up the last 800 or so words I had and the last 12 minutes of the vlog. poor old couch. We're getting this one picked up tomorrow. I assure you, you don't want to go outside. You know you don't want to go. Oh, you're gonna run right back in. Oh yeah, see. Anyways, very random storm. Wasn't supposed to rain. All right. Just over the hour later, I have all the animals on one couch. Yeah. And I'm going to take a break. Oh, hi, sausage. They're a little bit scared of the storm. Or they're sleeping through it and don't care. The clothes are done. And this needs to be moved in here. So I decided to forego the stream today, and I'm actually just going to plan better tomorrow so that I can get back into it. I'm really excited. I just might even do one in the morning. We're gonna see how I'm feeling. The issue is I have a lot of enthusiasm for things still earlier in the day, so this might be something I just have to recalibrate when I do the streams. I don't know. We're figuring this out on the fly. Oh good, the power went out. The fans have stopped. Huh? We're back. We're back, baby. Speaking of streams, this is also the other reason sometimes I have to cancel a stream. Can't explain it. Our power goes out way more often than anywhere else I've lived whenever there's a storm. First break done. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty solid, but it is definitely time for a break. I don't think I'm gonna go full sausage here. So I started at 9 basically, and this is what I've realized. If I am gonna take an hour between each one, you basically have like 9, 11, 1, 3, and then I usually do one later at night. And that's like the maximum you end up doing. But the plus side of this is that it's much more sustained sprinting and work than when I just had allowed myself to do it all day, even when I was in a corporate environment. So it's kind of interesting to play around with. But again, that's like the max you can do. But that's fine. That's fine. See, that's what I'm trying to get rid of. All right, time to run some errands. I'm terrible at waiting, so I'm sure by the time I get to the library, I will have eaten a slice. Part of my nail has been sacrificed to the book gods. Oh, hi. Am I back? I'm back. Hi. Hi. That is to say, I know what I'm doing during my next break, but it is now time for the next 1 hour sprint. I have Project Death pulled up. I have a little thing to add. All of the green are new scenes. I have a little thing to add into the new scene that I've already written, which is really exciting. I think it's going to... Ma'am, are you okay now? Are you good? Oh. I think it's going to help hint at what's potentially to come in the future for the character. So I'm just doing a little bit more like drops of foreshadowing, I think. So yes, let's do this. And whoopsies, and start. Don't mind my little nail polish graveyard as I work. I always forget how to redo the bobbin, so I'm gonna have to look that up, but otherwise I'm taking my screen break with a podcast. One of my favorite podcasts, Maintenance Phase. Cropped. One down. 2 more to go. I did not fold the other one, so I'm gonna try a slightly different method. Let's do this. I have started working a lot more from my journal, which I don't count in the 1 hour sprints. And since I have now earlier successfully, but oh, I wonder if I can have my face. Since I've now successfully done my 2 hours of writing, I'm gonna stay away from the screen a little bit longer today. I did have a slight bit of a headache and took some medicine, so I'm just gonna do what I can. My friend did want to watch The Bachelorette, so I also have to start taking in either I don't really watch the screen itself that much, or I have my set amount of time. So let's get a little bit more work done. I have some plotting to do and some sort of like titling, brainstorming stuff to do, which just means that I'm going to be crossing through a lot of stuff. So I have 2 colored pens to help. All right, let's do it. Okay, I think I'm going to work out here for the first sprint. I'm going to go grab my computer. Done with handwriting for now. The first of the hour sprints, I did actually write it down last night. Did get a headache, so I didn't get the video part done, but I hadn't written it down, so it's okay. So yesterday, for today, I wrote 1 hour in Project Death, 1 hour in admin, and then 1 hour on the romance projects, most specifically the Hallmark co-written project I'm working on with my friend. And then I did put an hour for a video, but that's like in a separate section. Zelda is just enjoying her best little chunk life. Okay, let's go get the computer. Do not have to go very far. Only this time I'm going to use Discord to track my 1 hour time, and we'll see how I do at the end of it. I do need to write chapter 3, but I also need to read my friend's chapter and kind of build anything else that I might have parsed through from there that wasn't in the outline. Yeah, sprint created. Ugh. The fun part after sprints is always figuring out what to do with my time for the next hour. Chunks has been really interesting when you're not supposed to be, you know, you're focusing solely on that for the time and you can only really have your journal up. What I found is that 1 hour has an incredible amount of focus, like a level of focus that I didn't know I could get to before. I remember Becca saying how she used to do basically exclusively hour-long sprints, and then she got to author too, where it was a lot more shortened. And I always thought that was funny. And then now I'm over here being like, if I'm only having an hour chunks to get stuff done, it's like I try my best to get as much as I can done in that hour. So the focus is actually really there. Again, sometimes I do have to resort to the journal, but ultimately I'm still staying in the zone with this kitchen timer method. So it sort of helped me realize how much I tended to, like, I don't know, bobble about. Because I'm noticing during my breaks, I do still bobble. I go between stuff. And so filming it is interesting because I'm like, okay, objectively, what did I do in that about an hour break? That ends up being longer because of the bobbling. I was like, I cleaned the espresso machine, I made an espresso, I did the laundry, I got, you know, some stuff, like little things, but that ultimately, if you were doing them with the same intense focus as I'm actually writing, would not take an hour. But like you go here, you go there, you think about something, you move, you sit down for a bit. And so now it's during those times, but not at all during the writing times, which has felt pretty nice, actually, to give my brain these breaks, to give my eyes the breaks, like taking all of that out of it creatively. It's just been nice to have those breaks where I'm not on as much of a timeline, but then come back here and be like, no, 60 minutes of focus. So, okay, this is part of the bobbling about. Shall I? I'm prattling on. Let us go ahead and pull up 60 minutes, and this is going to be some of my admin Patreon, putting together some polls and stuff, and we're going to put this up right here, and I might pull my headache tracker up again there and fill it out. So, ta-da! Okay, my time is up, but I am almost done with everything. I'm going to go ahead and give myself the time and just log off for a bit, but I'll probably come back and do this first before I do my next writing hour. Yeah? Yeah? I think that's a good idea. Bye! All right, I just finished the survey, but I want to know who are you people that are this good at titling? Okay, I have now dropped my partner off. The Austin traffic is no joke, but I'm here at this coffee shop. So we're gonna try this first. Illuminate. Oh. Okay, that place was actually pretty cute. I got like a chocolate almond olive oil drink. It was good. I like that they had a place where you could get beans. That was really cool. And if you needed to print something out, you could do it there, which is awesome because I know I don't own a printer. It did though have this weird like engine whirring sound or like rumbling that it would do occasionally. So that was the only detractor. It kind of like, if it was any darker, depending on the song in the background that kind of merged with it, it would have sounded like a horror movie-esque place, which I actually liked the vibe of. But yeah, anyways, you could almost tune it out. I didn't use headphones and I did not log on to the Wi-Fi because I'm trying to do the 1 hour, just like focused method, barring the occasional filming. So it was good though. It was nice. I will say this is the thing I forgot about coffee shops is that like you need to nail where you're sitting. Otherwise there's like a bunch of different places that the light can come in and reflect off of the computer. Yeah, so that's the one downside, I guess. And I didn't pick the best place. So, but just for 1 hour is fine. What we're going to do is we're going to hit the road and I'm going to go to a bookstore. Austin actually has one of my favorite indie bookshops, but unfortunately not this part of Austin. I'm actually like, I don't even know if you would call this Austin. The greater Austin metro area, I guess. That one's called Book People. We're just gonna go to Half Price Books. I didn't see a whole lot of other ones in the area. I think I saw some comic ones, which I might go to with my partner later instead, but we're gonna hit up Half Price Books because you can't not take the opportunity to go to Half Price Books. Different stores, different story. I already own all of her books, but I always have to check for my favorite. Our book club pick from like a couple months ago. Okay, and that actually marks the end of my experiment, the end of what ended up feeling like a very successful experiment for the most part. What I actually wrote down for the day before, I ended up accomplishing. Wasn't always the case, but like I'd say 90% of the time, which is awesome. And I feel like my attention span improved to fit the full 1 hour pretty well. Yes, there's still some times around that like 45-minute mark of writing where I'm like, oh, okay, no, it's still going, but I can immediately get back into the zone, which is incredible. And ultimately the point of the kitchen timer method, as John Roos details it, is that every writer deserves a definite and doable way of being and feeling successful every day. And once I was able to change my mindset through my first like failed version of this experiment into just being like, okay, I set the appointment with myself and as long as I make that appointment, then I've done it, was incredible. Yes. That's why when I was gone all day in Austin, you know, I managed to fit the 1 hour in, but that's all I had for the day was try to find 1 hour. Admittedly, I'd given myself like a little asterisk that I could do it in 2 30-minute chunks, but that coffee shop was perfect enough for an hour. And so I did it, right? And I felt successful that day, even though I didn't do any other work, even though it wasn't a weekend. You know, I was like, okay, I did what I could. And that felt so good. And that's what I'm trying to move toward, is doing what I can, what with the everything. And thankfully I also had my patrons to be my guinea pigs because I wanted to test out a live stream version of doing the kitchen timer method with doing 2 1 hour sprints. We did a 20-minute warm-up sprint, and most importantly having a 15-minute screen break in between the hour sessions. So more following the book than what I'd initially set up for myself of doing hour on, hour off. But I found out that I needed to take a bigger break after that. But ultimately, like after 2 1 hour blocks of like hard focus, I think you do just need a bigger break. So anyways, this helped so incredibly much. It really helped change the mindset of what I was already going towards. So I don't know how or why I lucked into picking this out when I did. It felt like I was dropped the thing I needed from the sky. I did find that ultimately, like drafting, even revising, brainstorming, almost everything that I did except for line editing really worked in these chunks. And maybe if I did line editing with a little 15-minute break and did another hour next, it would work better. But something about line editing, you really just want to stay in the zone until you either finish that chapter or a 6,000 word piece. You know, you want to stay in it until there's an appropriate break that's not because of a timer going off. I understand that that is counter to what this advice is, but again, that's the only one that I still need to fine tune somewhere for my schedule moving forward. It's also worth noting that I started this first experiment, way back in early August. It is now, as of this filming, the last day of September. So, meow. This has been a long evolution, but one that has a really, hopeful feeling at the end. I've been asked before what my favorite experiments are that I've done, and I think this one needs to take a top 3 spot, if only just for how great I feel now. I think that's it though. Please do comment down below. Let me know if you would ever try the kitchen timer method. Let me know if you try a version of it. And also let me know if you've sort of evolved a writing routine that hadn't been working for you and fine-tuned it into a way that it does. Let me know if you've had any mindset shifts lately that have really helped you, and let me know what you think about 1-hour sprints, just generally, whether they were by yourself, on a live stream. Yes, do you prefer them? Are you trying to work up toward them? Do you think you could never do them? Because that was me. But thank you guys so incredibly much for watching. Thank you so much to my patrons for, really moving alongside me in this journey. And thank you especially to some of my new patrons this month. Kelly Styles, Tuva, Autistic Man 182, Nitomia, Elisa, and Eva Lestra. And I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye.